All right. Well, let's talk about this next topic here, which is the new cards revealed. The Team Rockets cards themselves. Why is everyone so excited about Destin? Well, people honestly, I feel like scalpers don't. I mean, yeah, obviously, scalpers don't even care about like what the cards say. But honestly, half the time,
Yeah.
half the collectors don't care about what the cards say, right? Like they just care
Yeah.
what it looks like, which is good and fine. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's take a look at some of these big reveals. And I think everyone kind of knew that like Team Rocket was going to be a big part of this set. It's like its own mini set in Japan, right?
Yeah,
With
it's
Team Rocket
separated
specific
from
stuff.
Heat Wave. Like, the whole set in Japan is literally just all Team Rocket stuff. I don't think there might be a couple there might be 0, non-Team Rocket cards in the set in Japan. I actually just don't know.
It honestly would have been really cool if for us this had come out as a special set. Like it would have been really cool to get a special Team Rocket set that was like just Team Rocket.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it also would've been nice if I mean, yeah, but even if I don't know, yeah, there's a couple different ways I guess they could if we just got in rivals, destined rivals. If we just gotten that set now instead of what is it, 2 months from now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Japan is getting not this weekend. Wait, Japan has it. No, 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 they don't have this set yet. Oh, no, no, they don't have this set yet. But they're gonna be playing with Heatwave 2 weeks from now. So, oh no, I guess we have to wait a little
No,
bit
they're already
longer.
playing with it.
They're not playing with the Rocket Mewtwo set.
No, but they're playing with Heatwave right now.
Yeah, Heatwave they have. So no, I guess we're not gonna be that far off Heatwave to be honest. Or Destined Rivals, excuse me. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
that separated from the Team Rocket set. Um, yeah, they're playing with Heatwave in 2 weeks at Champions League Miyagi.
Let's get into it here. So we've got the Team Rockets Mewtwo EX, 280 HP, basic psychic type Pokemon, weak to dark, resistant to fighting, 3 retreat cost, and it is Team Rockets Mewtwo EX with the ability Power Saver. This Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Team Rockets Pokemon in play. And then Deletion Sphere for a psychic, and a colorless, 160 plus. You may discard up to 2 energy from your benched Pokemon. This attack does 60 more damage for each card discarded in this way.
Yeah. So I mean, it's this is definitely a Pokemon where it's a lot of big numbers. 200 HP on a basic EX Pokemon. Is anything even get close to that? How much did the fighting elephant have? Great, one of the tusks.
250, 250.
250. Is that the most besides this? Is there anything with 260? There's something with 260, right? Maybe there's not.
Not currently, but we've had Pokemon with more HP before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like for where we're at right
For where we're
now.
at currently, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the Blood Moon. I mean, we've got Blood Moon Ursaluna, right? But we've also got
Well, that has
regular
260. That has 260.
yeah, that has 260. We've also got regular Ursaluna, which has effectively 260 because of its, or like Ursaluna V. It's got 230 and then plus 30 more from its ability effectively,
Okay,
right?
yeah. So
So that's
260 is where we've been at in the past. That's effectively more than 260. But yeah, we're looking at 280 here for the Mewtwo. I mean, that's a lot of HP. The damage numbers they can be hitting for basically what 280 damage. That's a pretty big number. It's not KOing stuff like Dragapult and Charizard's not one to KO in those, which is probably a good thing to be honest. If you kind of like think about it, do we really want like a basic Pokemon that can one hit KO a Dragapult? Oh, I can say one hit KO a Dragapult with Clefairy. Uh,
yeah.
so all right, Dragapult taken care of. We can't want to KO Charizard. Also, we're weak to Dark, so we probably have a bad Charizard matchup to begin with.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think the numbers are really big. I think the community is definitely mixed on this one. I see more people saying this card is bad. What are y'all talking about? Than more people think it's good. I think this card seems pretty good. And we also haven't seen every Rockets card from the set yet, but I don't know. We've seen quite a few powerful ones. I don't know how many like tier one Rockets cards we're going to see, but these are some big
Yeah.
numbers.
So we'll get into more of this as we keep going on. But to me, what it seems like is like the Team Rocket support stuff that we know about, the trainers, the item cards, the supporters, all that. That stuff is broken. That stuff is insanely good, but only works within like the Team Rocket engine sphere. Like you need to
Yeah,
have a Team Rocket deck. Right now, with the Pokemon we know about, if it was like when we found out about Rocket's Mewtwo EX, and it was just Rockets Mewtwo EX. Like I saw people saying, like, how is this deck not gonna win worlds? Like this deck seems broken. And I'm like, you guys are nuts. This card is not that good.
and
And
we know what Moffat's playing for Worlds already.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. This card just does not seem nearly that good to me by itself. You need so much. You got to get 2 energies on it, so attach plus attach, it's over 2 turns. You also have to get 2 energy on benched Pokemon, which isn't too hard to do because you, of course, have this Spidops, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And then, but you also got to, like, if like a way you could get some of these guys in play would be like Technical Machine Evolution, right? You get your Mewtwo active, you Evo those guys in play. You can't even use TM Evo unless you get 4 Rockets Pokemon in play on turn 1. So it's like, I don't know, I think there's just a lot of limiting factors to this card that will hold it back. And I think the ease of powering up big basic Pokemon like um, Roaring Moon
Raging
or
Bolt.
Raging Bolt is the biggest one for sure. Yeah, I
Hold on.
mean,
We did lose Dark Patch.
we
I don't
do
know if
lose
Horn was
Dark
there.
Patch. We do lose Dark Patch, but
People
I
playing it
mean,
out here with E-Switch, which is maybe enough still, but yeah.
yeah, Sada E-Switch I think is still like acceptable and probably low key more consistent than what this deck has to offer at the moment.
I mean,
Uh,
I will say you can just play this with E-Switch Ogerpon as well. Like, we don't have to go
no, you can't.
the why not?
You have to have 4 Rockets Pokemon in play.
Got Area Zero. I think we can make it work. Like, I think you could play this with Ogerpon possibly as well. You would have to play some of the other Rockets Pokemon. We don't know what they all are yet. There's a lot of them though. I guess we could say that there is what I say was 48, 45 Team Rockets Pokemon in this set,
Yeah.
and there's like 38 uh Team Rockets trainer cards, which that's a lot.
Yeah, 45 Team Rockets Pokemon, and right now we know about like 15 of them, something like that.
Yeah,
So
so who knows
there's a
what will there hopefully there's not just Mewtwo. Hopefully there's other Rocket decks to come out of this. I have to assume there will be some other Rocket decks. Maybe not good ones, but
and
something
this
serviceable.
the Rocket stuff did get immediately a lot better when we got this little tease of the Team Rockets Mimikyu, because this card, depending on what it actually says it does, which we'll talk about in a minute, that card I think could be definitely very good. All right, let's keep it moving here. We got the Team Rockets Meowth, Kitty Yoink for the attack. I just think this one's funny. Choose one random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals that card, shuffles it into their deck. So, things that yoink cards out of your opponent's hand. I mean, any control player is always going to keep this one on their radar, right?
I think we have better options. No, actually, we maybe
We
don't
maybe don't
actually.
right now, I don't think.
All right, this is it, bro. Pidgey controls back.
Yeah.
Handlock them. I own her to one. Handlock them with Yoink. Cooking.
We got to control their top deck somehow. We've got Team Rockets Spidops. First off, pretty wild that Spidops came from, the Paldea region and is now a Team Rockets Pokemon. But anyway,
Yeah, a lot
charging
of people
up.
were like making a stink about that on Twitter. I don't know the official video game lore, or even like I guess you could even call it like what's it called lore. It just doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter to the TCG. Just we're just trying to make good decks. We just want good cards. We want the game to be fun and enjoyable. Who cares if the lore is accurate?
It's got the ability charge up. Once during your turn, you may attach 1 basic energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon.
Yeah. So this will be like I said, I mentioned the Ogerpon, but this is obviously meant to pair with Mewtwo. It accelerates energy into play on your bench that you can then use for the attack cost of Mewtwo, and then probably play E-Switch so you can set up a Mewtwo in one turn. Because we haven't got to it yet, but Team Rocket's energy is effectively a double energy that you could then E-Switch one energy off the Spidops, and then your Mewtwo's fully set up.
Yeah, and let's just go ahead and read it since you mentioned it. Team Rocket Energy. And this is what I'm talking about. Like the support cards around the Rocket stuff seem insane. Like this is a insane energy card. It can only be attached to Team Rocket's Pokemon. If it's attached to anything else, you discard it. And while this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 in any combination of Psychic and Darkness energy.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. Like usually cards like this usually just card themselves at the end of the turn. I feel like historically in
Yep.
the Pokemon TCG, this one does not. It just stays there and worth 2 energy on the Team Rockets Pokemon it's attached to. It's pretty powerful energy. It is limited to Dark and Psychic, which I think definitely tells us that there will be some decent Dark Rockets Pokemon or some Pokemon that will synergize with this card. Whether or not they'll be good, I guess is the question. But there'll definitely be some synergy there for sure.
This is the original Rocket Special Energy R energy, and it did just that. It provided 2 Darkness energy. It also made your attacks do 10 more damage, and it did discard itself at the end of the turn that you attached it.
Yeah,
We've got a Persian here.
we could skip the Persian.
I think
Well,
that's fine.
okay.
Doesn't seem great. And
Mean
then
deck.
let's just get into the rest of the kind of support here. So we'll start with the Giovanni. Team Rocket's Giovanni. Switch your active Team Rockets Pokemon with one of your benched Team Rockets Pokemon. If you do, then switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active Pokemon.
Yeah. So obviously, very powerful supporter card. Very much limited to. It's effectively a reprint. It's a supporter version of Prime Catcher for some of you newer players, or effectively a reprint of Guzma, which was definitely a card that probably should have never been printed. Way too powerful of a card. It's one of those cards you look back on and be like, all right, this was just too good. Um, but Guzma could work for literally anything. There was no limitations to what Pokemon you switched out, what Pokemon you switched in. It just brought one of your active to the bench, one of your opponent's bench to the active. But this thing limiting itself to Team Rocket's Pokemon is something that I think we should all be thankful for. Not a full reprint of Guzma.
We've got Team Rockets Ariana. Draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. If all of your Pokemon in play are Team Rocket's Pokemon, draw until you have 8 cards in your hand instead.
So really powerful. Honestly, probably the best draw supporter in the game. But once again, you are limited to having to play a full Team Rockets deck. So like I was talking about, like with Ogerpon, you couldn't play like an Ogerpon build and then play this. And this seems like a card you're definitely going to want to play as we get through these last couple trainer cards here.
We've got Team Rockets Archer. You can use this card only if any of your Team Rockets Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. You draw 5. Your opponent draws 3.
I feel like this is probably the most overlooked of the supporter cards. I feel like from what I've seen people talking about, this card is insanely powerful. I feel like being able to play this turn two, put your opponent down to a 3 card hand, especially after if they go for like a quick turn one KO or something like that. Like that's just it's kind of insane to be honest. Like it's not as powerful as something like a Roxanne, but then your opponents have to have drawn 3 prize card. It's not as powerful as a Lake Iono to 1, but this happening on like turn 2 of the game could be pretty hard to deal with.
And you can
Recover from.
play thin counts of some of those cards, like the Giovanni, the Archer,
Yeah.
because you have Team Rocket's Receiver, which is an item card allowing you to search your deck for one supporter with Team Rocket in its name, reveal it, and put it into your hand.
And this really ties everything together. Like this card is insanely powerful. Being able to get a gust effect, a hand disruption effect, or a heavy draw supporter through an item card is just kind of absurd. Yeah, and that's like what Chip was talking about. Like he wasn't blown away by the Mewtwo. I'm not like blown away by the Mewtwo either. I just think its stats are really good. Like I think it's a pretty solid card. Obviously, it's a little bit high maintenance with like needing the energy on the bench, needing a 3 energy attack itself. But I think it'll probably work out. But then you look at the support for just Rockets Pokemon in general through the supporters and the item here, the Rockets receiver, and you're like, okay,
And the
there's
energy.
and the energy, and you're like, all right, there's probably something here. And you know what? It'd be pretty cool if the best Rockets deck isn't even Mewtwo. Like we said, there's 45 Rockets Pokemon in this set. There's definitely going to be something else. We haven't seen any of the dark Pokemon yet, so I'm kind of excited to see what else they come out. And this could honestly redeem owners Pokemon because I feel like owners Pokemon have been super underwhelming. Like most of them aren't even played in terms of like as like an owner's deck. Like Lily's Clefairy is like a counter to Dragapult, and that's kind of it. Iono's stuff is not played. So we'll see. Of course, there's going to be when we get the set, we're gonna be getting the Arven's cards and the Misty's cards, and I think there's one more, or am I tripping? Just the Arven's cards?
Marnie's. Is Marnie's in this set?
Oh yeah, Marnie and Stevens.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're getting a
Stevens.
lot. Yeah. Wait, are we getting those as in the set or as like as like decks?
Don't know.
Um,
I know there
okay.
is a deck coming out, right?
Yeah, we are
Marnie
getting
and
them
his
in a
yeah.
maybe that's just how we're getting them, is just in the form of the decks instead.
No, no, no. I feel like I remember we looked at this because the Metagross comes out in the deck. It's in Destined Rivals. Yeah, yeah. The Stevens Metagross is definitely in this set based on
Okay.
the like set symbol or whatever.
Yeah, so that's gonna be and the trainers Pokemon, we've actually been seeing this a little bit more from Heatwave in Japan. Stuff like Ho-Oh was making its way into Raging Bolt, or like what's called box decks. What's the fire Pokemon that moves fire energy around? Falls from Charcadet.
Armarouge.
Armarouge box with Ho-Oh. Then there's Typhlosion is in like a bunch of decks. There's Typhlosion Golden Go, there's Typhlosion Dragapult. They're not really owners decks, but they are the cards actually being played. So it feels like maybe just Journey Together was kind of lackluster, but from here on out, it could be the owners Pokemon could be pretty impactful.
Then we do have a couple more we'll just quickly read here. There is the Team Rocket's Porygon Z. It has the ability Reconstitute. You must discard 2 cards from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw a card. So we've seen this exact ability on the Galarian Articuno V. didn't ever really get played. It was kind of one of those
A little
cards that
bit.
like hung around, but yeah, maybe in some fringe things every once in a while. And then we did also just today get the reveal of the Team Rocket's Ampharos, which has the ability Dark Impulse. When your opponent plays a Pokemon from their hand to evolve one of their Pokemon, put 4 damage counters on that Pokemon. The effect of Dark Impulse does not stack. And for anyone who has been playing since 2005, we're literally getting a recreation of one of the most powerful decks from like the early 2000s, which was called Rock Lock, where you would get a Dark Ampharos in play, which has the Darkest Impulse ability, or Pokebody, as long as it's in play. When something evolves, you put 2 damage counters onto that Pokemon. Can't It doesn't stack as well. And then this it was called Rock Lock because you would spam Ancient Technical Machine Rock, which is the exact same thing as Technical Machine Devolution.
Oh, that was, oh, that's interesting, actually. I didn't know what Rocklock was. I've heard the name before. I didn't know that this was that was the reason I thought there was, like, Soul Rock in it.
No, the deck played a lot of these, and you would just Stone Generator. You would devolve their Pokemon,
Yeah. Dude,
and
that could
when
honestly work. I was gonna say these cards usually just aren't that good because they're just too slow. All the like, oh, when your opponent attaches energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, you put 2 damage counters on it, or like this one when they evolve, you put damage counters on it. They're usually all just way too slow.
and you know it
Um,
supported that deck as well?
Quick search Pidgeot,
Quick
which we
Search
do have.
Pidgeot.
Also, to find our TMD, we got Arvin in the format. Find the Devos, just spam Devo at them, de-evolve them. That could be kind of cool. Maybe it'll work actually, to be honest. I would be kind of sick if it did work.
It also used this good old Jirachi here, which we don't have a perfect replica of. Wishing Star, look at the top 5 cards. You get to take one, add it to your hand. But there's, we got Tatsugiri, so you could recreate this deck almost completely. It's kind of cool. See it all
Rocket
come back
Jirachi.
around.
I would actually be surprised if they did come out with like something with an ability that said search your deck for Team Rocket's Pokemon or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, actually, I could see some actual hope for this card. Like I said, usually they're just kind of too slow. Like by the time you get your Ampharos online, your opponent evolves one more Pokemon. It's like, well, like 4 damage counters, I guess. But I mean, you could play 4 TM Devo with this thing. You even if you get it online turn 3, you just hold them back with the Devos. They evolve, you Devo them again. They evolve, you Devo them again. Is there a
What happens when you play against Rocket's Mewtwo EX?
lose because that X broken and it beats everything? But that's fine. We knew that going into the tournament, and we are choosing to take the L to Team
Hmm.
Rocket's V2 EX. All right, though. I mean, Tweak the Dark. Maybe there's something we can play. Figure it out.
Charizard.
There we go. Charizard Ampharos TM Devo. Locked.
And then there's a couple other cards as well. These didn't get revealed in Japanese, and we didn't actually even get them revealed fully, but this image was included or released, which shows the Destined Rivals pre-release promos, the build and battle kit promos, which teased Team Rocket's Tyranitar and Team Rocket's Mimikyu. And Team Rocket's Tyranitar looks like it has something to do with putting 2 damage counters onto maybe the bench basic Pokemon, something like that, between turns, which also taking it back to Rock Lock as well. This was a big piece of Rock Lock. Sand damage as long as Tyranitar's your active Pokemon. Put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's bench basic Pokemon between turns. They're like literally recreating this deck.
Just giving us Rock Lock.
They're giving us Rock Lock.
But that, dude, fighting triple colorless. We are not attacking with that thing.
No, but he's a big boy. We stick in the active spot.
Well, I don't know how much HP he's going to have. We'll see. Uh,
That's true.
Am I just getting one hit by the Mewtwo? Oh, probably is getting one hit by the Mewtwo. What am I saying?
And then Team Rocket's Mimikyu, which looks like it says choose one of your opponent's probably active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. That's been the speculation thus far, with a
Pretty
little bit of
reasonable.
pushback and debate as well.
Yeah, and I mean it seems pretty reasonable from what we can see. Also, it does cost Psychic Colorless, which gets fulfilled from a single Team Rocket's energy. That's all you need, and you are using the copy attack, which they've all not every single copy attack on basic Pokemon have been good, but a lot of them do come up and
Basically.
are pretty impactful. The Mimikyu is the most recent one that I can think of in Malamar. Have we had anything since then?
Yeah, that's Pseudo Wudo as well from Buzzrock, right?
Yeah, that's a little further back.
That was a big, big
And
one.
then
There was this whole discussion happening as well.
yeah.
with Jake Gearhart. Yeah, I saw someone tweet the meme of the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the like wires on the boards, like
Yeah,
pointing to, and that's Jake here, just showing that things don't quite line up with the exact text of genome hacking, which is MuEX's attack. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. You can see it doesn't quite line up here. The your is a little shifted over here. So there's the theory is there could be some other word hiding behind here
opponent's
that
active.
I think the only things it could be that would fit would be active basic or active EX.
Yeah, active EX Pokemon's attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not much. So I saw a meme. Someone did, your opponent's Archaladon. Your opponent's Archaladon's attack, and use it
That
as this attack.
imagine, dude, that would be so funny.
Yeah, it just copies Archaladon. That'd be terrible. But it probably is just copy the active Pokemon attack. I'm trying. Yeah, I don't active EX maybe, active basic possibly. Um, yeah, we will see though. Eventually, there's not much else it could be for sure, right? Like,
If there's some other thing here, it's probably my prediction here is it's going to be the same thing and like just the text is a little shifted for whatever reason, one reason or another,
yeah,
or it's EX Pokemon. That's my prediction.
active EX Pokemon's attacks. That would need even more room though.
Your opponent's active EX Pokemon's attacks.
I have to add EX in
Yeah.
there.
And that's why it would be a little more squished in compared to this line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, the thing to maybe check would be to like check. It's like so. It's going so deep for no reason. But all what about, like you check the text on all these other cards, the Misty and the Fire one, and see how that lines up in general with text on other cards. And is that text just maybe smaller than or out of line compared to other text? Who knows?
Yeah.
Like you right there, discard the top 7 cards. I'm sure there's another card in format with a similar beginning to text there. The Gyarados' attack there. Might
Yeah.
check.
The problem is like I doubt there, but there's probably not something that says this exact text sentence for sentence, right? And that's the thing here is like this is exact all the way
True.
across, and so that's how we know that it doesn't quite line up. But I'm predicting that it will probably just be
Active Pokemon.
actually, I don't know, man.
I think it will be literally genome hacking.
That seems like so insanely powerful though. On a basic Pokemon for one attachment.
Yeah,
Like
they
that
heard you thought Mewtwo was bad, and they were like, "All right, well, we're gonna give him a Mimikyu to work with as
I don't even
well."
want to play Mewtwo, bro. I just want to use
Wait,
my opponent's attacks.
quad Mimikyu?
Let's get dude, every other attack in the
Quad
game is
Mimikyu with
broken.
Guzma?
People are doing all this work to put Dragapult EX into play. Let them put it in play, and then my Mimikyu kills it.
I'm just not gonna be feeling too good about that one. That his opponent stops at Dracloak and knocks out his Mimikyu, and that's it. Yeah, oh, I didn't think about that. 70 damage. It does kind of knock on my Mimikyu. Wait, do you
Yeah,
actually know?
but
Do
guess
we know
what?
what's HP? Is it
We
70?
return KO it, buddy. We return KO it. It's just a one prizer trade.
Dracloak's got 90 HP. He's tanking his own hit.
Bro,
It's true.
it's weak to psychic when you have Lily's Clefairy in play.
Put a 2 prizer in play. That's it. You've lost a prize trade chip. You're done.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. New chair here
His
about lost it.
Mimikyu Clefairy deck got a hero's cape on the
Oh yeah, bro, we don't know how much HP this thing has. What if it says
True.
like 500 right here?
All right, let's go to the next. I think that's it for Team Rocket's cards and the 500 HP Mimikyu. But yeah, I would say decently exciting. Also, we mentioned there's 45 Pokemon apparently, but there's like 83 Rockets cards expected. So there's like 38 trainer cards, theoretically, right?
Yeah.
83 new cards tagged as Team Rockets. So I mean, oh, I guess the energy's in there as well. So not quite 83, 87 or 37 cards then, I guess. Maybe there'll be multiple Rockets energy.
That would be crazy. That's a crazy amount of trainer cards around
Yeah.
one archetypes. That would be I wonder if that is including like all the special illustration rares and stuff. It probably is.
Ooh, okay, yeah. That would make a lot of sense because that is like a ton. Maybe they're really just trying to make Porygon work though. They need like a lot of Rocket supporters to
Yeah.
fuel Porygon's attack. They're like, man, I really want Porygon to be a good deck here. And they're
And
really
we
pushing
can
that.
make some predictions here just based on the pack artwork, right?
Yeah.
There will probably be like a Team Rockets grunt card, right? We've got the two
Mhm.
grunts here. There will probably be a Rattata, Eradicate, Murkrow, Coughing Wheezing, Ekans. and Arbok as well. So
Yeah.
can make some pretty safe predictions, I would say, based on the pack artwork. But
Yeah.
yeah, very cool.
Definitely.
Looking forward to it. It seems like it's going to be a pretty exciting set for just the community in general, but especially for the player base because there's some pretty impactful looking cards for sure.
Definitely. And that's like the big thing is because it feels like Journey Together is a little eh. And more so, less so that it's like feels eh. It's just like, I don't know, it just feels bad to be like, even though it feels like the format and meta should change up a decent amount for the Journey Together format,
Hmm.
we're still just playing Dragapult and Gardevoir and Raging Bolt. Like, I don't know, it kind of feels bad. Like that's what I think feels the worst. It's like it'd be cool to be competitive with my Iono's Belly Bolt deck, right? Even if it's like a tier 3 deck. But it feels like that's not even like a reality. So
Well, they haven't given me a shot with it yet.
true. Chip's gonna be winning, I don't
So
know,
many things with
so many things.
Iono's Belly Bolt.
Yeah, look out at locals.